Hello students, KTHM College, Department of Political Science. Myself Chandanshwe Vasudha welcome you all again for the subject Introduction to Constitution. So in this lecture we are going to learn about the right to constitutional remedies. Okay, we will move further. So the in unit second, the fundamental rights, we have learned right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, and right to property. It's a amendment we have learned. And the last one is right to constitutional remedies. We are going to learn about the constitutional remedies, which is our fundamental right. So students, the fundamental right to constitutional remedies. It contains in Article 32. So, Declaration of Fundamental Rights in the Constitution is meaningless and useless, we will say, and worthless without providing an effective machineries for the enforcement. See, if and even when they are violated. So, Article 32 confers the right to remedies for the enforcement of the fundamental rights to the citizen. So, in other words, we will say that right to get the fundamental rights protected is in itself a fundamental right. So this makes the fundamental rights real. That is why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar called Article 32 as the most important article of the Constitution. An article means his statement is an article without which the Constitution will be a nullity. So it is a very soul of the Constitution and the very heart of it. The Supreme Court has ruled that Article 32 is a basic feature of the Constitution. So it in the Article 32, right to constitutional remedies, gives us the right to move the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights, including the writs of it. So, the Constitution has given some provisions. There are four provisions for that. The first one is the right to move Supreme Court by the appropriate procedures for enforcement of fundamental rights is guaranteed. After that, Supreme Court shall have power to issue directions or orders or writs for the enforcement of the fundamental rights. So there are writs given for that. After that, the Parliament can empower any other court to issue directions, order, and writs for all kind. Any other court shall here does not include High Court because Article 262 has already conferred this power to the High Court. This is the third provision, and the last one is that the right to move the Supreme Court shall not be suspended except as otherwise provided by the Constitution. Thus, the Constitution provides that the President can suspend the right to move any court of the enforcement of the fundamental rights during an we will say in a national emergency, which is under Article 359. So the constitutional remedies we are going to learn. We are going to learn the writs. So we are going to go through the type and scope of that. So the Supreme Court under Article 32 and High Court under Article 226 can issue the writ of we will go through the writs. First is habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. So these are the five writs. The Parliament under Article 32 can empower any other court to issue these writs. No such provision has made so far. Only the Supreme Court and the High Courts can issue the writs and not any other court. Before 1950, only the High Court of Calcutta and Bombay and Madras has the power to issue the writs. Article 262 now empowers all the High Court to issue the writs. So, this writs are borrowed from the English law, where they are known as a prerogative writs. They are so called in England as they were issued in the exercise of the prerogative of the king, who was and is still described as the foundation of justice. Later, the High Court started issuing these writs and extraordinary remedies to uphold the right and liberties of the British people. So, this is the rights and the type and scope of the writs. So we will go through the writs one by one. The first is habeas corpus. So it is a Latin term which literally means to have the body of. It is an order issued by the court to a person who has detained another person to produce the body of the later before it. So the court then examines the cause and legality of detention. It could set the detained person free if the detention is found to be illegal. Thus, the writs is a bulwark of the individual liberty against arbitrary detention. So, this writs of habeas corpus can be issued against both public authority as well as private individual. The writ, on the other hand, is not issued where the detention is lawful. The proceeding is for contempt of legislature or a court. Detention is by a competent court, and the detention is outside the jurisdiction of the court. So this is the habeas corpus, the first writ. After that, the second is mandamus. So this word means we command. The word is known as we command. It is a command issued by the court of public official asking him to perform his official duties that he has failed or refused to perform. It can also be issued against any public body or corporation, an inferior court or tribunal or government for the same purpose. So the it has also some restrictions. So this mandamus cannot be issued against a private individual or a body to again after that to enforce the department instruction that does not possess statutory force. After that, when the duty is dis sorry discretionary and non-mandatory. After that, to enforce an contractual obligation after that against the president of the India or the state governor. This is also there. Means prohibited, restricted, we will say. And the last one, against the chief justice of a high court acting in judicial capacity. This is the second writ, mandamus. After that, prohibition. So prohibition, the word itself is to forbid. It is issued by a higher court to a lower court or tribunal to prevent the latter from exceeding in judicial or jurisdiction that is not possessed. Unlike mandamus that direction activities, the prohibition directs inactivity. So the right of prohibition can be issued only against the judicial and quasi-judicial authorities. It is not available against administrative authorities, legislative bodies, and private individuals or body. So this is the prohibition. After that, the second last is certiorari. So it means to be certified or to be informed. It is issued by high court to a lower court or tribunal, either to transfer a case pending with the letter to itself or to serve the order of the letter in case it is issued on the ground of excess of jurisdiction or lack of jurisdiction or error of law. Thus, unlike the prohibition which is not prevented, certiorari is a both preventive as well as curative. So recently the writ of certiorari could be issued only against the judicial and quasi-judicial authorities and not against administrative authorities. However, in 1991 the Supreme Court ruled that the certiorari can be issued even against administrative authority affecting right to individual, like prohibition. Certiorari is also an available against legislative body and private individual or bodies. This is the second last right. After that, the last one is quo warranto. So this word is it means by what authority or warrant it warrant we say now warrant by what authority it is issued by the court to inquire into the legality of claim of a person to a public office. Hence it prevents illegal uh, supersessions of a public office by a person. The writ can be issued only in case of a substituent public office or of a permanent uh, character created by situated by the constitution. It can be issued in case of ministerial office or private office, and unlike this other four writs, this can be sought by an interesting person and not necessarily by the aggravative person. So these are our five writs which is known as soul of the constitution by the great leaders, by the great thinkers. So we have learned about them. So thank you all of you.